The lesson is intended to be applied in every situation. By Alan Stevo. Human action is fluid and unpredictable. It's a beautiful part of life. I can't predict the future, nor can anyone else. What we are called on to do is this: identify our boundaries, communicate our boundaries, defend our boundaries. In the area of face masks, if you have an exemption, that means you are always doing the following. Step 1, politely inquiring about the exemptions to the policy. Step 2, politely requesting to patronize the business under the exemption. Step 3, clarifying that you will not be wearing a face mask and when you can be expected to arrive. Step 4, confirming what you should do when you arrive. Step 5, following through and maintaining a very kind but firm exterior that will be incredibly accommodating within your boundaries while maintaining a firm certainty at your boundaries. The intent of the lesson is that it can be applied across all situations. It is a realization that honesty requires you to communicate your boundaries to another and to then speak them to another in a way that allows you to be heard by the other party. Alternately, you may just walk away from the other party. Making this decision is vital for being an honest person. Decision at its root means to cut off from. One who decides cuts off all possibility to later return to the previous way. There's a clear cutting off of one in favor of another. This moment of decision is poorly honored in our culture at present. What is more desirable culture-wide is to keep all options open. What is even more popularly desirable is to keep all options open at all times. What is far more common than being decisive is to tolerate a person, to not communicate boundaries, to allow boundaries to be traversed, and finally, in frustration, having some type of a meltdown. This is the way of American society in this period in history, a way exported widely to all individuals of the world with the desire to be westernized. It is a supremely dishonest way of dealing with others. Our overly literal era is obsessed with the telling of the details of truth. Yes, that's really very hard, and human communication is not black and white. There clearly are lies, but not all that exists in the gray is a lie. Our overly literal era obsesses on the letter of the truth while being in near complete disregard for the spirit of the truth. Are you honest about drawing boundaries? Will you speak hard details to the people who will find the greatest discomfort in speaking them with? There's such great contradiction in American society, in which grand life-changing aspects of life are ignored while the most minor and insufficient details are obsessed over. This is a supreme example of living for the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. Some people major in the most minor details and then walk away very pleased with themselves, though they have in the process involved themselves in the greatest lies. The lesson exists to forsake minor lies as merely irrelevant and to focus on the major lies. Neither lie is good, but when one has a log in one's own eye, it is no time to focus on the speck in your neighbor's eye, nor is it any time to focus on the speck in one's own eye. Identify the log, focus on the log. That is the lesson. That is how a thinking person behaves who seeks to live a moral life. To be mired in pedantry and legalism is to allow oneself to miss the grand moments of life. Identify your boundaries, communicate your boundaries, and defend your boundaries. You cannot be a fully functioning member of any community without doing precisely that. To do otherwise is to live a grand lie. No matter how much pedantic detail you follow in the face of people-pleasing authority, demanding such disabling pedantry from you, focus on your own boundaries, and you identify yourself and free yourself. This is the most vital tool on the teetering edge of the abyss we currently inhabit.